everyone, to another episode of Progress Mindset Podcast. We hope that you are doing well today. On today's episode, we are going to talk about intentions and how you should, move with intention in everything that you do, especially, it's not quite the start of the new year, but we're still pretty early, but things are moving fast. So the days seem like, everything is just moving. It was just January 1st, and now it feels like it's about to be April. Right, Franz?
Yeah, time is flying. Time
Yeah,
waits for
it's
no
like,
one.
wow, I have some goals, to do, but I'm just like, wow, it's really March, almost the middle of March. So it's time to get intentional.
Yes.
We speak about intentions. If you look up like the definition of intention, it means, like to aim or plan out.
Right.
And of course everyone we see that everything is getting back to quote unquote normal, but we can't forget, 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So with that in consideration, even aside from that, your life, we always say, see you tomorrow, oh well, next year, but we never really know. So every day, plan to live your life with purpose. When you do things, especially if you have the knowledge to do better, because in your 20s, when you're a teenager, sometimes you don't know. But if you have the knowledge to do better and to really, set your plans in motion, you should do it. So when I think about intentions, I think about, in everything that I'm doing, I'm going to attack it with a purpose, because our life is meant for purpose. Yes, you're supposed to live your life, but if you really go back, to the Bible and the Word, for those of us that are spiritual, it really says, to plant seeds, to study the ant, which means like, every day drop a little seed, every day, store up, because you're here for a purpose, whether it means that you're supposed to be an entrepreneur, whether it means that you're supposed to be a mother, whether it means you're supposed to be a really good friend, right? Because not everyone's meant to start a business, be Jeff Bezos, be a surgeon, but maybe your purpose is to just be a good listener. Maybe your purpose is to, make people smile. Maybe your purpose is exactly what you're doing at your job right now. So when you move with intention, you kind of recognize your purpose and the things that you're supposed to do. And in doing so, everything falls into place. Intention really is part of your everyday life. So when let's say you have a job, if you set your alarm for 6 o'clock every day, you're moving with intention, right? Your intention is to get up on time, to make sure that you don't get to work late. You're driving there, you give yourself enough time. If you're taking the bus or the train, you're planning that out. So it's adding that into your everyday life. If you know that you have dietary goals, you eat with intention. You don't want to gain weight, you eat with intention. If you know that you're looking for a partner, oftentimes we're kind of like, I just want to see where things go. I'm not really looking for anything. But in all honesty, we all know that's not true, right? We have to pick someone with intentions. If we're dating, we're dating because we want to either find a companionship or something else. No matter what it is, you're doing it intentionally. So once you move closer with intention, you find your purpose, and with your purpose you find passion, and that's how you're really living life. I feel like when people feel empty, when they feel like life isn't serving them, I think it's a reflection of your intentions, of your purpose. So if you feel like mundane every day, you're just waking up and you're feeling blah, take a look at your intentions. Maybe that's where you start, because we're not meant to be unfulfilled in life. That's not normal. And in everything you do, you're supposed to find a little bit of joy and happiness. So if you really are, waking up every day and you feel like you're missing something, write a list of your intentions and maybe start there. What do you think, Franz?
Oh yeah, I mean, absolutely. You hit the nail right in the head. Everything you said is basically, what I would want to say as well. But it's very important, like you said, to move with intention. And even sometimes, as we plan and as we go through life, maybe where we at or whatever we doing, whether it's an occupation or not, maybe it's not exactly what we're gonna be doing for the rest of our life. Maybe that's just a now thing. But even though what you are currently doing is a temporary things to help you get to where you want to get in life, you still have to treat it, as important. That don't have that mindset. Oh, nah, it's just this just a little job. I'm not taking it seriously. I'm just doing this just to do that. I feel like anything that you get yourself involved in, any type of contract, any thing like that you choose to do, I feel like you should do it as if it's as important as anything, as any of your other major goals, because that's a decision that you make. The minute that you make a decision and then you try to say that it's not as important, this job is whack, this is this is not what I want to do, that's you fighting with yourself basically. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to like confuse yourself. You don't want to you don't want to go back and forth with your subconscious mind, because the minute that you make a decision to do something, you already made a deal with yourself, or this is what I'm gonna do. And if you had a conversation, if your conscious mind had a conversation with your subconscious mind and said that we're gonna do this for 6 months, guess what? Your conscious mind might not remember. Probably like, oh yeah, I said whatever, we're gonna do it for 6 months. Your conscience just let it go, but your subconscious mind record that. So even though whatever little jobs or whatever little opportunity that you are currently working, that you don't feel that is a big deal, to your hard drive it is a big deal because it's been recorded. You know what I mean? So it already know that you there for a reason, and you guys, like, you within a contract, like, it knows that you're going to be there for 6 months or more. So since you already made a decision, that's how it's going to be. So your subconscious record that stuff. So when you have terrible behaviors, like when you doing things without attention, like you just going through the process and not taking it seriously, you sometimes you going back and forth with yourself. So you got to be careful of how you approach things. So that's like one of the things that I wanted to mention, because I realized that I hear that a lot. I see people do that a lot. Like they get themselves involved in things and don't take it seriously, as if somebody put a gun to your head and tell you to do it. you know Anything that you decided to do, off of your own um off of your own ideas and off of your own need, you should I feel like you should live up to it, and then just do what you have to do. If whatever you're doing is not it now, you do it until you move to the next chapter. But don't make it a thing where it's gonna become an issue every day, that what you fighting with yourself, and then you just bad mouthing something that's currently helping you. So you got to be careful with those, of how you think as well, when it comes to that.
Yeah, it's true. Um, Back to you, like you said, just doing something and thinking it's just a little job.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, even if it is just a little job, what is this job right now teaching you for the next experience?
Right.
I know for me, I had to think about that myself. if I'm, if I'm being honest, when I started my job a year ago, I was really like, this is it. I'm tired of going job to job. I am going to sit here and just soak it all in.
Right.
If anybody knows me, they know I stay with a job. But it's okay to pivot, even when you thought that this was it. Because a couple of months into the job, I'm just like, I don't really love it as I thought I would, but I appreciate it. And while I'm here, I'm going to take in all the knowledge that I can, because this is going to prepare me for whatever is next. And with that, that was just the start of my intention getting this job, because I intentionally wanted to go into a certain career, and I just didn't want to do what I was doing before.
Right.
And now that I'm in that career, it's like, how can I expand on it? And in looking for other jobs, I was intentionally now saying, okay, this is the salary that I want to make. I'm going to intentionally look for jobs with this salary range. This is the kind of job duties that I feel like I can do, and I'll be confident. And I'm going to intentionally now look in the job description and say, okay, this is it, because that's what I was doing before. It was kind of just like, well, anything, I'm going to throw it out there, and if it sticks, I'm going to take it, And then, you get it, and then you realize you weren't being intentional, because this is not what you really wanted.
Right.
So, again, that just goes back to what I was saying. If sometimes you just feel mundane, something's missing, it could just very well be that you're not moving with intentionality, if that's a word.
Right. Exactly. So, So, just make sure that you are moving with intention, because if you don't, then you're just gonna continue to question yourself. You're just gonna continue to have that question mark, where you be like, I decided to do this, but that's not it. But that simply tell you, maybe you rushed the decision, because sometimes when you try to make decisions, if nothing is coming up, like if you're trying to make a decision right now and you're not getting the clear idea, you're not getting the clear answer that you're looking for, the best thing you can do is sit on it and give it time, and it will come to you. Don't try to rush things. You can ask people for their opinions, but most time their opinions is not gonna answer the question for you. So you're gonna have to, certain decisions that you have to make in life requires time. It requires a lot of thinking, and sometimes it's thinking that you have to do. Of course, when you get your opinion from your friends, from your family, that helps, but it doesn't always fully answer that question for you. So it requires time. So as you take time to think about whatever decisions that you have to make when it comes to you, so you will make that decision, and it will be better to wait on something than to rush it, to rush the result. So if you're looking for an answer, if it is not clear, just sit on it, give it some more time, and then when it comes in, you react on it. It will be a much better decision making, because a lot of us make decision out of a rush. We make decision because we impatient, we can't wait, we just want to make things happen, but not everything functioning like fast food, especially when it comes to your decisions that have anything to do with your purpose in life. Those things takes time. That's what Afia's saying. Like, when you're at a certain place, it could be a job place, you can use that as a vehicle. You could do wherever, like she's saying, wherever she's at, it might not be where she want to be 2-3 years from now, but she's using that place to, to learn, using it as a tool, grasping and learning as much as she can from that place. So wherever she's at and whatever she's learning, she's gonna take those tools to her next destination, which means she's planning. She's not rushing it. She knows something else is coming, but she's not just getting up and be like, all right, boom, boom, I'm just gonna move on and to the next thing. So you gotta plan. You gotta put your thinking cap on, but don't rush. Don't rush your decision making, because at the end of the day, if you somewhere where it's okay, where it's not miserable, like, because most places that we are currently at, and then let's say we want to get to another destination, most of the time it's not terrible. We just know in the back of our mind that this is not where we're gonna be for a long time, or this is not for us. But just because something is not for you doesn't mean that you just run out of there like your hair's on fire. So just just plan, and just put some thinking into it. And when when those ideas come, when that clear decisions come through your head, then you decide, and then you move on and you do what you have to do. But don't rush decision, because when you rush decision, like I said, and you try to try to say that you move with intention, but you are in a way, but then it could be a bad intention. So you got to be careful, of how you're moving. So just be mindful of the decisions that you make. Just make sure that it's your decision, that is not somebody else's, because you could get opinions and you can ask for advice from people, but at the end of the day, you got to take it back home and override everything that you hear, override advice that's been given to you, and just see if it makes sense, and then applies it with yours. And then at the end of the day, you make the decisions for you. You don't make no decision based on what anybody else think or what anybody else want to do. You got to live your life. You got to live for you, and you're not living for you're not living for your parents. You're not living for your friends. You got to fulfill you. You have to make sure that you complete with yourself. You have to make sure whatever you're doing in life is what you want to do. You're not doing it just to please people, or just to keep up, or just to make a whole lot of money. Because at the end of the day, income, money, all that stuff gets old. And if you're doing things, if you if you're doing things for the money, it's never, it's really. I'm not saying we all need money, but that shouldn't be your drive. That shouldn't be your main drive, just to make a lot of money. Of course, if it's your career or whatever it is that you're doing, of course you're gonna get rewarded for what you do. But you also want to make sure that whatever it is that you choose to do, that you are happy with it. You don't want to choose a field, and then of course the few weeks and months is gonna be nice, or because you're getting paid, whatever, you're getting what you feel like you deserve. But after a year, you're gonna start feeling, like, oh man, maybe this is not what I wanted to do, or maybe I'm not happy where I'm at. How come I'm not happy? This and that, blah blah blah. All these ideas might start coming to your head, because we dive into things that's not always for us. Maybe we didn't put enough thought into it. So before you pick any type of field, before you pick any career, this is a special time right now, especially we have a lot of students that's about to graduate from high school, that's graduating from college, that's moving into the next level, or whatever it may be. You might want to start thinking about exactly what you want to do before you take on that major, because the last thing you want to do is waste your time, because like we said, time is very valuable. You don't want to dive into something and later on realize, oh Lord, this is not what I wanted to do. Let me go back to school now and focus on exactly what I wanted to do. Sometimes it happens. Hey, if it happens, it happens. And if you happen to fall into the career that's not for you and you working it, yo, work it. Like Sophia was saying, you use that place and gain the experience and carry it on to the next. Especially if it have any type of relation towards to the next thing that you're gonna do. So, like I said, if you in a place where it's not where it's not exactly where you want to be, just continue to drive that vehicle and then work on whatever it is that you really want to do, because it's really never too late or too early. So don't feel like, just because you happen to fall into the wrong opportunity or fall into the wrong major, that is over. No, you have time to correct things. You have time to fulfill yourself, to live your dream, to accomplish what you really wanted to accomplish, and to live your purpose. So if you feel like something is not fulfilling your purpose, this is not you, then you start questioning yourself, then maybe something is wrong. Maybe whatever decision that was made it wasn't clear. It's good, it's fair, and it's nothing wrong with asking yourself questions either. Like, it's good to have those conversations with yourself and make sure that you are where you want to be. Not where other people would like you to be, and not where you not where you just not a mountain you climbing just because you see everybody else is climbing it. You climb your own mountain, build your own dreams, and work your purpose. Don't be stuck out here trying to compete, or try to do things because other people is doing it. No, do it because it feels good, it fulfills you, and that's what makes you happy. Yep.
Yeah. But also we need to think about when we're making decisions, even if it is something that's not clear, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we need to think about why it's not clear.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it could just be a vain reason of why you're confusing your decision.
Right.
Sometimes it's ourselves getting in our own way because someone I was speaking to one of my friends the other day, and he said, sometimes we think we're not happy because we have our own ideas of what it's going to take in our life to make us happy, and if that thing is missing, then we feel like all is lost. And that's true.
Right.
Sometimes you could just have everything you always wanted and worked hard for, but it's just that one thing that you want, and because you don't have that one thing, you just feel like my life is not good, I'm not happy. So sometimes it's just a decision as that of think about the reasons why you're going to move on from that job, or why you're going to move on from that relationship, or or even moving out of state. Think about the real reason why.
Right.
And sometimes you have your real reason why, but again, it's just that one thing that you're just like, I have everything I want, but, and then you're like, I'm not happy because I just don't have this.
Right.
Or you want to stay complacent at your job because that job that's gonna make you more money. You can't get away with walking in late and leaving early. That job is gonna have to take work. So your reason for saying I don't know because I got it pretty good here, then is that a real reason? That means you really don't want to elevate. There's a quote from Neville Goddard. I probably shared this, but because he has a lot of quotes, but I wrote it. Is one of the things that he said to write down and to look at every day. And it's like our value is directly related to whatever job you're doing right now. That's what you're gonna get paid for. That's it. You know what I mean? Like you could go to another job with the same title. That's what you're gonna get paid for. Right. So sometimes it's not the job. If you want more, it's gonna require more.
Uh-huh.
So if you're getting more and you don't want it, maybe you don't want more. So whatever job you have right now is directly related to whatever value they're gonna pay, and that's it. So decide what you want and what you're gonna be able to exchange for,
You're
because all our choices are gonna have you're gonna have to give something up.
facts.
And if you don't have to give something up, maybe you're just happy being comfortable, and that's fine. But then you have to question yourself. You can't ask for more,
Mm-hmm.
because whatever you have right now is directly what you can handle, one, and two is what you choose to accept.
Right.
So and that's a lesson, for me too, because there have been times, where I get everything I want, and you're just like, damn, well, I don't have this, so that means, I made the wrong decision. And that's how I am. Like my like I fall apart if like I just don't have that one thing when I could just have everything in front of me.
I loved that you said that sometimes, everything could be going right, but then, then since one thing is off balance, you just feel like, a complete failure.
Yeah.
I like that because that's very realistic, because it's that's a mental thing that you go through. Like, we all go through it, because you have your days when you wake up that everything just feels so right, like you nothing can go wrong, and then give yourself a good half an hour later, you get to
Wake
work,
up,
and
the
then
sun is shining, the birds is chirping. Put your
yeah,
coat on. You're just like, I got this.
but you get to work, and then one thing goes off, then you be like, oh man, I'm a complete mess, this
Yeah.
this going off, this, but you're not thinking of all the good things that's happening, the fact that you actually made it to work on time, you was able to look
You're
and pull.
alive, have eyeballs.
Yeah, like, you're not thinking about the little things. You just more focused on the highlights, the big things. And I felt like that was a good point that you made
Oh, you
too.
just said highlights, and you know what I just think about
Mm-hmm.
Instagram, and the same thing. How we remember when we spoke about the episode is media ruining us.
Mm-hmm.
We live our life like a Instagram reel, like a highlight,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's how
Yeah.
it seems like society's processing things. Like my life is an Instagram reel.
Right.
Or I went out last Friday. I went to
Oh,
I
look
went
at
to
you.
the
You out
Bahamas.
here, huh?
No, I'm making it points.
Streets.
No, like
Exactly.
you went out last Friday. You went to the Bahamas the Saturday before that. But Monday, Tuesday, you at work, and you're just like, my life sucks,
Mm-hmm.
because you're just replaying that highlight reel.
Yeah.
And you're not focusing on real life. Life is about ebbs and flows,
Right.
nuances and caveats. But it's all what you put into it is what you're gonna get out of it. And again, it's okay. It's okay to change your mind. I know that I change my mind all the time, but I have to question myself of why I'm changing my mind. Is it
Yes.
because what I was doing before was comfortable, and now what I'm doing right now takes more work?
Yep.
Or is it coming from a real reason where, like, you tried this and everything is falling apart? If nothing's falling apart, then there's really no reason to question your motives.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
And
it's just important to recognize that is you're doing good, you're doing great, but focus on what you can be grateful for in today. And if it's something that you feel like you need to work on, maybe it's just not your season for that, and you need to prepare yourself more so that when that comes, you can clearly recognize it.
yes, and that is a very, very strong point. Like, the fact that, when things are not going the right way, or when it just doesn't make sense, it's good to question it. That's basically how you will solve the issue. That's how you will come to a conclusion. Because if things are going bad and you don't question it, you just go along with bad, be like, oh yeah, things are just horrible right now. If you just let it be and don't question it, and and don't try to understand why it is how it is, then you're gonna continue to have a problem. So having that approach is very, very good. That's how you get out of your mind. That's how you move on from your issues. That's how you solve your problems and move on from that negative thoughts. Because like all day, like that's what your mind is doing. Your mind is constantly working. So you spend majority of your days just overriding your thoughts, like whether it's negative or positive, making decisions. There's a lot going on up there. So you really, really have to learn to master your mind. You really have to learn to like change channels when things are that bad, because it's a battle. It's a battle going up there. Sometimes it's you battling yourself. But you just need to understand, and then just sometimes just try to like find ways to distract your mind positively and make a decision. Because if you don't learn to control that, if you don't learn to change those channels when things are just out of control, when you're incapable of making a decision, like it's really very hard for you. So it's very good to work with yourself. And then when things are not as it should be, or if you're not happy with whatever situation is going on, is very, very important to question it, to question the why is things like this. Why am I feeling like that? What should I do? And if I do it, what will be the outcomes? It's a very, very good thing to do. Very, very good thing to just have a conversation with yourself. There's nothing wrong with having a conversation with yourself.
Yeah. Even if you answer back, it's fine.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what they say. Even if you answer back, it's totally fine.
You get the permission from Progress Mindset that you are allowed to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
This is very personal for me, because me, like I have this conversation with you all the time, because I moved, uprooted my whole life, and I was great. I was fine. It was moving and grooving for me. I felt like, woo, I'm free.
Right.
But it's just when I started to sit and reflect about certain things that I felt was missing in this transaction, then I just felt like, oh my God, I'm such an idiot. I just made such a dumb decision. You know what I mean? And now that I'm battling with it mostly now every day, I'm really thinking to myself the real reason why I feel this way. And when I really think about it, it's all superficial. It's not like I hate my life. I hate it here. I'm actually, progressing more in my current state than I was in my previous state.
Of course.
And of course, everything is a season, right? So just as I'm getting opportunities here, when I decided to move, I was getting opportunities in my previous state too. But then I had to think to myself, it's not that I made the wrong decision. I've been planting seeds this whole time.
Yep.
So when it was time for it to come to fruition, I was given a choice. And I was very lucky to be in a position to make a choice.
Right.
So I can't look back and say, oh, I made the wrong decision. If I would have done this, damn, maybe my life would have been different. Yeah, it would have been a different outcome. But I was still given the choice. And in those choices, it was either exactly what I wanted.
Right.
But again, everything happens for a reason.
Yes.
So whether I'm here now because I'm supposed to be, or I'm here now because I'm supposed to plant seeds, live the life that I have to live here, learn from it, and then pivot.
Right.
But whatever it is, it's for a reason, or else it wouldn't happen.
Yep.
And that's it.
Like you said, it's a season. So you're going through a season. So when everything is perfect and you're not thinking, and you don't feel like there's any challenge, your life is perfect, like there's no worry, you're not really growing at that stage because you're comfortable. So when you finding yourself asking all these questions, feeling uncomfortable, facing new challenges, like having the idea of quitting or moving back, or because it's too tough. This is not my type of environment. My peoples are not around. This is a good thing. It's a good thing now. That you are challenging yourself. Your inner self, your inner giant is watching. Be like, let me see what decision you're gonna make now. Let me see if you're about what you said you are. Let me see if you up to the task of getting that huge opportunity. Because with more responsibilities require more strength, you know, more mental strength. So now let me see what you're about. So this is actually a good thing that you went through and still going through and you learning from it, because having those challenges, going through these tough times is actually making you stronger. And then at the end of the day, you're gonna come out, you're gonna come out a stronger person mentally, because as you can see, mentally or in all aspects, because it's a growing season for you. And I remember you talking to me about that, and I can hear it, because you would tell me exactly what's going on, then you were like this and that, blah blah blah. I'm like, nah, you doing everything that you're supposed to be doing. I'm like, it's just a new environment. Whenever you're in a different environment, the first thing, I went through it too, and the first thing that's gonna come to your mind is move back. This is not my type of environment.
Go back under the blanket, go back to your comfort zone.
Right.
But if I'm being honest, I'm really not missing out on anything.
No, you're not.
I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and instead of me enjoying the season, I'm thinking about the next season, and I'm not learning, and I'm not growing, and I'm not, although I say I'm appreciative, I'm not showing it.
Yeah, that's why after every accomplishment, you have to celebrate. It doesn't matter how small it is. After every peak, after every mountain you climb, you have to stop and look around, and that's at least taste the fresh air, smell the cool breeze, because you cannot keep knocking goals down and just not, and don't take the time to check them off.
Yeah.
So that's what's missing. So you gotta celebrate yourself. You gotta like pat yourself in the back. Take a little time before you trying to climb the next mountain. So you definitely need to do that, because if you don't, that's what happened. Because you just feel like all you need to do is keep doing things, and then when you don't reward yourself, that's like you being a child and you're going to school and you're getting good grades, and then there's nobody there to applaud you. There's nobody there to tell you good job, good job for getting all A's, or for making honor rolls. You know how bad that would feel. So you just gonna feel like you just need to continue to do it, but it doesn't really mean anything. So you gotta look at your life the same way. As you climb those peaks, you have to take time out to enjoy it, to enjoy the peaks. Yeah, and I told you that before too.
I know you always tell me, but like I've been being more intentional with and speaking of intentions, I'm gonna throw out a shameless plug. So I am intentional journal that is on Amazon. You just type in my name, Afia Charles, shameless plug.
Right.
All my books are gonna be, labeled there. And it's just something in my spirit that prompted me, to do that. It's like an accountability planner. It's like, where do I want to be and what steps did I take today to get there, right? And I've been being more intentional about being more cognizant about how I'm feeling, the things that I'm doing, and just thinking about my whole life and how it's been and how I just, you know, I'm always overthinking. I'm always thinking it's not good enough. This is not it. This is not the answer. And you know, God is a spirit. He's not gonna say, "My child, yes." You know, sometimes when you're praying for an answer, it's just gonna come as a feeling. You know, like He knows what you're supposed to do, and sometimes He's not gonna say yes or no. Sometimes He is, but sometimes He's just gonna say trust.
Right.
And that's how it's gonna feel like. You know, we gotta be careful about the adversary, because he be working. The devil be in your thoughts, trying to throw you off track, trying to say what you're doing isn't the Lord's work, that you don't belong, that you're not good enough, that where you are, like to just confuse you. Distractions. He will send distractions to work against you and leave you confused. So whatever you're in a season of being confusion, that's not of the Lord. That is the work of the adversary. Because God does not bring confusion. Especially when you know that He's brought you to a season in your life, and all of a sudden you're confused. That is the work of the adversary. He's trying to throw you off, trying to make you question God, trying to make you question your purpose. So that's why you have to be intentional, so that you could have discernment to really understand, you know, what's happening.
Yeah.
And you know, speaking of the Bible, I woke up to this verse that says, "He that is faithful in that which is least is faithful also in much, and he that is unjust in the least is unjust also in much." And I just sat there this morning like, wow,
Nice.
it's so true.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna end on that.
So am I. I'm not saying anything.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's just
like
worth to think about, you know, and you know, you're asking for more, but what are you doing now in this season?
Yep.
Because even when you get more, how are you going to handle that more in that season?
Oh, yes. Right.
So,
Keep it at that. Fia didn't come to play today, you know.
It was on my spirit, it was on my mind. And,
I love it.
You know, I just, you know, I just want to move with purpose, and I want everyone to move in their purpose. I feel like the world we're becoming more lost, becoming more blindsided. We're thrown off track.
Gotta stay focused.
We're not, you know, we're falling into the mess in the media.
Oh yeah.
In the world, and we're not focusing. We were all focused 2020. You was home. You was trying to figure out how you're gonna make more money. You was trying to figure out if you're gonna, you know, get your job, but then we lost track.
Yeah.
We lost track.
Because everybody was so afraid. You had that fear, you know, of what's next.
Yeah.
You know, the minute we start figuring things out, things slowly go back to normal. So we just gotta stay focused and, you know, just continue to work, and don't be fooled by the distraction. Try not to get distracted by negativity. You know, stay positive, you know, and keep your mind focused, and stay, you know, focus on the pride.
Yeah.
Focus on the pride.
On that note, we are gonna end it here on our episode of Intentions. We hope that you know, got a lot out of this episode. We can definitely keep going, but we hope a lot of things that we said today really sits right, and if you got to put it on the replay, you know, think about your life, think about the things that you're doing, Are you being intentional? And where areas in your life can you grow and be more intentional? So, as always, like, comment, and subscribe. Share this podcast with a friend. Be a blessing. And if you have any questions, you could always hit us up, send us a message on our. You can send it here, or you could send it on our YouTube, our Instagram, Progress Mindset Podcast, and we'll get back.
There you go.
All right. Later.
Peace out.